Hey everybody, it's Ray and Sean from Atlanta Braves Chop Live. Just wanted to welcome Hayden Harris, minor league pitcher for the Atlanta Braves. Spent a full season at three levels in the minors for the Braves. So Ray and Sean here. So hey Hayden, welcome to Atlanta Braves Chop Live.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We came across Ray's gonna do your introduction, but real quick before he does the introduction, I thought it was pretty neat. You mentioned about the our Facebook page, and we never know who's watching our Facebook page. And somebody posted about, "Hey, I'm going to Atlanta to see my favorite Atlanta Brave," and everybody, "Oh, really? Who's that?" And somebody said, "That's my son." And that was your mom, so that's pretty awesome. And we'll let Ray do the a little bit more of the introduction and of you, but want to appreciate your mom following our page, and we never know who's following, but that's pretty cool. She has her favorite Brave there at the house. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's been following. She told me she's been following you guys for a while, and I mean, I'm not on Facebook like that. I don't think I'm old enough to be living on Facebook
Hey,
just
hey
yet.
now, hey now.
I'm just messing with you guys.
Yeah.
I've been on there a lot more, but no, you guys all do it. Y'all do it the right way. You get a lot of fans, players, interviews with all kinds of people, and you keep the vibes very good. So
Yeah, I think really that's one of the keys is just trying to be positive and like kick out the trolls and and haters, things like that. But it's funny, Sean mentioned your mother. Yeah, Von Grissom's mom reached out to us one time. It was pretty cool. And that kind of led to different things. We did an interview with Von Grissom's girlfriend Dalton. She had a new book come out, and he gave us a little cameo right before the Braves playoff game there. But yeah, so I want to say welcome again to Atlanta Braves Chop Live. I think what's most unique, you were successful in college. One thing I saw just statistically, more strikeouts than innings pitched. So it seems like to me, the first thing that I think is like lefty specialist. But I think obviously, tell us what actually got you into professional baseball, because it wasn't like an immediate, first round draft pick or anything like that. After college, you did 5 years at Georgia Southern. You graduated with like business administration degree, if I'm not mistaken. But tell us how you basically got yourself into professional baseball.
yeah, so I'll start with, let's see, I got signed up for the draft league the fall of my senior year. So we went through the spring, and it was a real up and down spring. I had put a lot of pressure on myself the first half and everything. And, the second half, I was like, this could be, last time I'm playing organized baseball. So I kind of bought into what the team and everything wanted to do. We ended up hosting a regional, first time in school history, stuff like that. So still one of my favorite memories ever. And, going into the summer, I had signed up for the draft league, and I was like, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to play as long as I can. That was
Right.
literally that was my idea. And I think I was literally like looking on LinkedIn at just jobs, not baseball at all. And had seen like a couple of the scouts that I followed, they posted some things, and I was like, I'm going up here. I might as well, make a routine, make a plan when I pitch. And what I was doing is I was reaching out to I literally followed every scout that I could find, and, added them. And then I did a message to every single one of them, introducing myself, and almost like introducing yourself for a job interview.
Right.
And I would get my TrackMan numbers, my stats, my everything, and I would send them, almost out like mass messages. Like I would send it to every single one of them, and some would respond, some wouldn't. If people responded, I was, of course, open to having a conversation and everything. We did that, and then Allen, but with the Braves, he's been there for forever since Bobby Cox and all of
Okay,
that. It
nice.
was it was his first year in amateur scouting. He had been in pro scouting for forever. And I reached out to him and he was, very open, he gave me his email. I sent video every day. He didn't respond every day, but I definitely sent still on the same schedule. And then he reached out to me around draft time. He was like, "Yeah, you're a fifth year. You could be like a underslots, save value stuff,
Mhm.
how the business works." So I'll keep you posted. I didn't hear from him for like a week and a half, and I'm on this 8.5 hour car ride up to Frederick, Maryland, to go play the second half because it turns into indie ball and they pay you a little bit and everything. And he calls me and he's like, "Would you play for so and so?" I was like, "Man, I'll take a plane ticket." He's like, "All right, give me an hour." He probably called sooner than that, and yeah, I signed like electronic signed on the road at some gas station in North Carolina. Turned around, drove 5 hours back home in complete silence, and then yeah, that's kind of how I got in the Pro Bowl.
Did
Are you
you?
serious? Are you serious? Alan Butts is the one that you talked to?
Yeah, yeah, he
That's
was the
pretty
one
cool.
that.
I've mentioned before I was like a bullpen catcher, right? And just single A for our local home team. And I wanted like so bad just to talk to a bullpen catcher for the Braves, right? And then when we first moved here to Florida, the Braves had their spring training here in Orlando, and there was only one person I was looking for. His name was Alan Butts, and I happened to see him walking by, right? And I talked to him, right? And I said, "Hey, I got to get your picture." So I actually took a picture with him. I'm gonna take a picture of him, and I said, "I feel like I can go home now. You're the only person I came to see." So I got to talk with him. He was real open, and but that was so cool, Alan Butts, to be able to hear that he connected with you like that. Yeah, heard he's a pretty humble guy. Um, he was a bullpen catcher for a long time, and then later became a scout.
Yeah, that's exactly how it worked. And I don't know if you were down there at the same time, but Matt Childers, long time, uh, he was my pitching coach back when I was young, and he's from the Augusta area. He played the same time. Alan Butts was his bullpen catcher there too. So I don't know if you remember that name or not.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty
Maybe,
cool.
Hayden, maybe when you come, assuming you're coming down to spring training this next spring, you could link up with Sean and see if his knees will let you throw him a couple fastballs.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, they I think the fastest person I ever caught was a Rudy Sinez, and he threw like in the mid 90s, and but he pitched about 20 years in the majors. He pitched for the Braves. He pitched for, I remember going to a Braves game. He was pitching for the Red Sox against the Braves, and so yeah, about mid 90s. But you start getting to that strider speed, I don't think I'll be able to handle that too much. So,
How how have you seen your pitches change after a full year in minor league baseball at different levels? How have you seen the progression? And if there has been, what would you attribute that to? Just coaching, to, new approach to taking care of yourself physically, mental game? What would you say?
I think it all, like all those things that you named, kind of just tie together. Like from college to pro ball, my like whole approach changed because at Southern there, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was very old fashioned, like pitch down the zone, down the corners, weak contact,
Right.
and that kind of thing. And that was never like, I guess, my strength, and I didn't even really like know that. Like when I got to the Braves, it was throw fastballs at the catcher's face mask and get as many swings as possible, and good things will happen. And then over this year, it was just refining and getting into the role of your first season, and then building some confidence just in repeating what you're doing every day. Because pro baseball is so monotonous. I figured that out. It's so monotonous, and if you don't enjoy like the little things, or you don't enjoy like the process, you probably aren't going to be very consistent. So
Hmm.
that was like my goal during the season, because the off season I prepared, as well as you can for your first season. I'm a little bit older guy, so I'm probably more mature than most guys going into their first pro season. And, I took pride in that. And I was, wanted to be the same guy every day. I pitch good, pitch bad. You wipe it when you shower, you wash off the dirt, you shower, you wash off that day, and you go to the next one. And that was a big, I guess, just focus and just enjoying what I'm doing. Cause, I didn't get paid a lot of money to come play pro ball. I didn't get paid, I wasn't like highly touted by anybody, but the Braves value me a lot. And I am just trying to follow through with, they value me. They see me, I can pitch in the big leagues relatively soon. So, and I believe that. So, we share the same, ideas of what I can be. And it makes it a lot easier to play that way when you're not trying to prove it. You're just out there playing.
And I think
One of the
that's,
things.
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Ray. One of the things I see is that we post sometimes is some of these. I think some of the older like baseball players, I want to say like, let's say you go back about 20 years ago, and as far as pitchers, what have you, they pretty much took off the whole off season, and you really didn't hear too much about them during the off season, maybe working out a little bit here and there. But it seems like a lot of times now in baseball, it's almost a year-round thing. And sometimes we post videos of certain camps where, like AJ Smith Sharver, we see him working out in Texas at a particular, camp, along with some other pro athletes. What's some of your routines as you once you got signed during the off season now? What are some of your routines now that you see during the off season maybe change compared to when you're in college? And do you see some of the other, is that something that a lot of players do? They're connecting with those camps and getting connected with those and working during off season?
Yeah, I would say that we usually go to the organization first, and then they connect us with wherever we're going to go. Like right now, I mean, I wouldn't even say I've been fully into the off season yet. I got like a week and a half back at home after, the taxi squad. And then I'm right back in Florida right now. I'm working out 5 times a week for this past week and this next week. And then I get to go home for Thanksgiving and everything. So I would say it's never too early to prepare, if that makes sense. That's kind of the goal, at least in my eyes. I'm trying to be around. They invited me to this. They want me to show face. I'm going to come here and I'm going to work my butt off. Work my butt off all off season and, be ready for spring training wherever they want me, if that's the big league one, minor league one, whichever one it is.
What part of it? Are you the location where they have spring training in Florida?
Yes, I'm at the complex.
Yeah, that's a nice complex they have out there. Got a little hurricane damage, right? But they fixed a lot of it though.
Yeah, they fixed a lot of it, and we get to eat 3 meals a day for free. We get per diem money, all that kind of thing. I mean, we live for free. I mean, why not come down here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure. Is that an invitation?
You can talk to AA or Ben about that one.
Okay, let me text him real quick. Tell us, being from the Augusta area, tell us about your first appearance there for the Green Jackets. Like, what was that experience like? Really playing at the pro level in front of the home crowd, and tell us how many people came, how nerve-wracking was it? How was that experience?
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't very nerve-wracked. I was excited to do it, and getting to play professional baseball in general is just that's a blessing. And I would say it was very. When I went to Augusta, I'm not too much of a homebody. Like, I love my family and everything, but I want to get out and I want to go, experience loads of new things and everything. So playing in Augusta, that first outing was exciting. I had tons of people there, and it was great getting like pictures with them before the game and then going out and pitching. And I had some adrenaline going because it's early in the season, and you're ramped up, you're fresh, you're ready to go for the season. and it was an overall like good time. And then I was very much like, you know, uh, realistic about it. I'm 24. You know, if you're staying in low A for too long, you're probably not going to go anywhere. So I was just working towards, every outing, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you went through 3 levels, and in Mississippi, I mean, Mississippi Braves has kind of been a springboard for a lot of players at the pro level, at the major league level, for the Braves. So, um, what are you? I know you said, this spring you might be, you don't know, obviously, you might go to the spring camp, the pro camp, etc. But ideally for you in your development level, how do you kind of envision this next season working out for you?
I mean, after this past season, I don't really know if I even should expect anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just prepare and play and enjoy what you're doing every day. I mean, obviously, getting an invite to big league camp would be huge, and then getting an opportunity to like I got to throw in Truist in those scrimmages, which was awesome. Got to meet Snicker and all the guys, and I held it together pretty well until I talked to Chipper, and then I was very I got tongue tied a little bit because growing up a Braves fan,
Oh
Yeah.
but
yeah, for
outside of
sure.
that, getting to throw in front of all of them, and getting to go out and do what the Braves are asking me to do. That's all that I can prepare for and all that I can be ready for. And if they need me, if they give me a call, I'll be here.
Yeah. Oh, how was that conversation with Chipper? What do you remember from it?
Uh, I introduced myself and everything, stuttered a lot, and he laughed when I said that I was lifelong Braves fan and everything, and I was like, "Yeah, this is my first year in pro ball." He's like, "What are you 21? Are you 18 or something?" I'm like, "No, man, I'm 24." And then it wasn't too long after that, but it was a funny conversation.
That is funny. How does tell us, when you went from Augusta to Rome and then Rome to Mississippi, was that the order? How do those conversations go? Is it like what we would imagine, the manager calls you into the office and tells you, or how do those kind of conversations go?
Yeah, well, the one from Augusta to Rome was a 2-minute conversation after a Sunday game. They called me in. Um, who was the manager down in Augusta? Why can't I remember? Uh, Gabby was the one who it was, and he called me in. He said, "Hey, congrats, you're going to Rome." And I was like, "What?" And then he's like, "Yeah, we'll get on the bus. You'll go home and pack your stuff up, leave tomorrow morning." And that's what I did. Drove up to Rome. It was, pretty quick. They move
Yes.
guys pretty quick, and you don't dilly dally around too much. And then from Rome to Mississippi, let's see, when I was with Rome, we took our trip up to New York. So we flew and we were in Hudson Valley, I think is what it's called.
Right.
And I threw that Tuesday. One of our starters got hit by a line drive really early, so we had a bullpen day, and it was 3 innings first guy, 3 innings me, 3 innings the next guy, done. And then get to the field the next day. Or no, no, no. Wake up the next morning and coach Speed, the pitching coach in Rome, he texts me. He's like, "Hey, can you come down to the lobby?" And then they let me know. It was probably like not even 5 minutes. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna Uber you to the airport with all your bags. You're gonna fly to Atlanta. You're gonna catch an Uber to Rome, sleep there, pack all your stuff, and drive down and meet the team in Pensacola." So that's how that went, and that trip was interesting to say the least. I mean, that's a long ways to go in one day, and then hop on a baseball field.
Yeah, but worth it for sure.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Is there a
Um,
particular lefty that you kind of compare yourself to, or kind of see your style kind of similar to?
I wouldn't. I've kind of grown out of the comparing myself to anybody. I did, I've probably watched more Josh Hader highlights than the average person. And when I was really young, I liked Billy Wagner because he was a small lefty. So,
that's
I enjoy those guys.
that's exact like stature wise and lefty. Like I actually was thinking Billy Wagner. I think he might have a few more ticks on his fastball, but that's really one of the great things about baseball. You can, body size, style, like it doesn't matter. It's talent and it's a lot of drive. So yeah, but I thought Billy Wagner and stature wise, I thought like Tim Hudson. Um, but
Oh, Timmy.
yeah, Tim. We're Sean and I are from Columbus, Georgia. Tim Hudson grew up around here, and he's over in the Auburn area there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm so sorry about that. I guess that was my roommates or something. I don't know if you heard that.
No. Yeah. So within in essence, you have single A, double A, and you're hoping for at least make your way up at least to Gwinnett or what have you, wherever or you're led. How now a catcher? I'm thinking of a catcher, right? Growing up playing catcher, whatever the case is. I mean, I play with a lot of the same guys against a lot of the same guys, but catchers, you're gonna have different catchers in and out. At what point do you actually see there's actually a study made with the catcher actually studying the other team, or pitcher, the catcher's just going with what they think you should throw at the time. Did you see that transitioning through the league, through the different A ball, double A, or did you see pretty much?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say when I got to double A, it was a lot more catchers would do their, they'd get there early or they'd do it the night before and do their homework, whatever day that they were catching. They would do their homework, get the scouting reports done, get them printed out for them. And then it's a little bit different for a reliever. Relievers, you kind of, you may throw an inning, two, maybe three. And so I would say my approach is I pitch to my strengths. I don't try to pitch to a hitter's weaknesses too much. Keep it very simple and, attack guys. And like when you're on the mound, you're getting reactions out of the hitter anyways. And you and the catcher, you hope that you're on the same page when you're seeing that, a guy's early, guy's late, swinging under the ball, over the ball, all kinds of things. Like you're making those reads as well when you're on the mound. It's not just when you're, before the game.
This will probably never happen, but I've always wondered. Yet full count, you can throw strikes if you're, one of those pitchers who can throw strikes. You have a batter looking for a fastball, and you just lollipop one at 60 something miles an hour. One, a pitch batters. They're waiting for the fastball coming in the 90s. Maybe they're looking for a curveball. But you see one of those breaking pitch, one of those pitches are like one of those, not an eephus pitch, but that's one of those that throws them so off their timing.
Yeah.
I always wondered, like, if a pitcher just threw that in the clutch moment, what the batter would actually react like. Wow, I didn't expect that. That's like 15 miles an hour slower than I thought it was going to be coming in.
It might work once. You see Greinke, flip one in there every once in a while, but I mean, you're facing pro guys. I wouldn't advise at that. I'm not gonna lie.
It might go long and far, but
I want to read something real quick, Hayden, from your Twitter account. And for all of you out there, you can follow him at Hayden Harris 35. But you just posted this recently, and I'll just read it. It says, "I'll say whoever sees this sometime, don't hold on to the past, because when God does send you running with an opportunity, he doesn't want you to be weighed down on your race. If there's fear or doubt, do it scared with a plan. And we're blessed every time we breathe. So smile." I read that and it made me think of one of my favorite scriptures, which is 2 Timothy 1:7, which I like to summarize as not fear but power. But it's, "For the Spirit of God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power love and self-discipline. So I kind of wanted to ask you about that particular tweet that you pinned, and just maybe you could tell us a little bit about, what inspires you, and what leads you to, put that type of a great tweet out there for people who may read it or at least hear it here on our interview.
Yeah, I mean, it was over, let's see, it was over interview I had in Mississippi, them going over my, a little bit of my story, the LinkedIn recruiting thing and all that kind of stuff with the news channel there. And, I watched it after he had edited it and everything. And I was like, I felt very drawn to, speak my mind a little bit about how I kind of approach things, how I've changed, grown up over, I would say, the past few years, and just giving a little bit of advice to people. And, I've grown in my, religious views, all that kind of thing. I'm much more of a, I would say, dedicated follower than we all were as kids.
Yeah, amen.
And yeah, and that I found that just having that consistency in that aspect, that can carry to everything else. I was on my Instagram. This is a little bit, going off topic a little bit. On my Instagram, I was posting daily devotionals probably every day for, I think it was 231 days. So
Nice.
before the season up until the end of the season, the end of the taxi squad and everything. And, I was very consistent in that. And I would wake up, and especially in today's day and age, you wake up and, we grab our phones and we go on social media. And I got to a point where I would go on my phone and I would get on my Instagram and I would be like, oh, wait, I didn't post my daily devotional. So this will make me, do my reading for the day. It was basically tricking myself into, staying consistent in that aspect of my life, which carries over to every other part, as you know. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
So that tweet is just giving my 2 cents, some advice from what I found.
Yeah, that's
We talked to
fantastic.
Ray. He interviewed Jim Allen. He's the senior vice president for premium partnerships, and he was talking about the different things as far as devotions they have at the Atlanta Braves. So it's kind of neat to see that, they kind of have different ministers and stuff like that to try to help encourage the guys. You talk about different pitchers, that Tyler Matzik, he talks about mental health. Kyle Wright talks about mental health, and also bringing in that perspective of, also connecting people, to devotions and stuff like that. That's pretty interesting. The outreach they have for the players to try to help them out throughout the season, because you obviously know that baseball also has a lot of mentality to it as well.
Yes, it is. And, I've kind of changed my point of view over the years. Baseball, you're going through high school and then you go into college. It turns into your identity. You're a college athlete and that's what you're known for. And I got to a point where that's where what I didn't want to just be a baseball player. You know what I mean? So I changed, I guess, the mindset behind it of it being my identity to it being a platform for me to, I can connect with people. I can have you never know when you're going to have an influence over somebody. You never know. So why not, when you speak, say something positive, give people advice and, don't be judgmental or anything. Just, I, I'm trying to use it as a platform. I'm not, trying to make it my identity is what I was getting to.
Yeah, that's great, Hayden. I think that your stats and your approach and your composure, I think, are all things combined that, I feel like you're going to have a successful 2024 season coming up, and we'll be rooting for you. And if maybe you want to give a shout out to your mom here before we close, or anybody else you want to mention here.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate y'all reaching out to me, and my mom, moms do what they do best. They always take care of their babies, no matter how old they are. And I thank her for tagging you guys, and you guys give me the opportunity to talk to y'all for a little bit.
All right, Hayden, we sure do appreciate it too. So for myself, Ray, and for Sean and Atlanta Braves Chop Live and Braves Country out there, we want to thank you once again and wish you the best in the upcoming season.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, take care, Hayden.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.